What's up, everybody out there in YouTube land? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time it is where you at watching this video. It's Robbie. I'm so glad y'all can make it back for the reaction. This is going to be coming from that YouTube channel, Hello Yasin. DDG is public enemy #1 again. I saw where DDG was trying to find a cameraman. I seen his post on Instagram and I did throw it a like. So I'm like, you know, man's trying to keep his business going and stuff like that. But every time you turn around, people always take an issue with DDG. I don't understand. It's just weird, you know, because me personally, I dig his content and stuff like that. You know, I genuinely can respect his hustle. So I just want to see what's going on with him. So let's not waste no time, y'all. Let's see what's up. Let's get to this video.
What's poppin', y'all? It's always good fun to poke a little bit of fun at DDG. He's a good sport about it, unless you talk bad about his music. Then you're probably going to catch the hands. Or his family, which is understandable, the second one, not the first one. However, his cameraman is the first one where everybody seems to actually be defending the cameraman. I'm looking around like, what the hell is going on? So he had a cameraman for Streamer University who got fired, and then the cameraman comes out giving a statement. We don't need a statement of your termination, but he did so.
To headphones, 1 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning, in the middle of butt nowhere in Arkansas. In my experience being a camera operators are like at the bottom. You know, they treat us like at the bottom. Everything is our fault. I hear from a lot of other camera operators that I was talking to, they also cramped up. Body was giving out due to dehydration. You know, they needed to have a couple minutes to themselves to recharge, you know. All in all, you know, regardless of what may occur at Streamer University, it just didn't work out between me and him. It was mutual.
Is it my understanding that these cameramen, don't they get paid well? Like they get paid a decent amount of money. Now, okay, I get you might be dehydrated. You might want to keep some liquids on you or whatever, but I thought they get paid pretty well for what they do. I don't know.
No hard feelings. I got a lot of love for him and I hope it's mutual.
Off rip, what's the first thing we're hearing? Complaints, self-centeredness. Oh, we cameramen, we're giving out due to dehydration. Keep in mind, this guy's from California, Southern California, I believe. He went to Arkansas. That's where Streamer University was at. Guess who else was out there in the heat with you? The person you're recording, DDG. Every other streamer was out there. And on top of that, there were connection issues that people were having. So imagine
we all in this together. You hot, I'm hot, we all hot.
A live streamer. You're here trying, like that Aisha Sophie girl. She broke down crying because like her connection kept going in and out. Now, do you believe her crying? That's not the point. It was for sure real frustration. So people, they have to entertain their audience, and the audience is saying like, yo, you're cutting out, this is lagging, and you really can't do anything about it. So they're dealing with that stress. They're also dealing with the heat. They're also walking around all day. Now you could say, well, they're not carrying a camera. Well, they're also entertaining and having to talk all day, which gets exhausting. Talking all day in the heat. And then he says, oh, cameramen are at the bottom. What do you mean by at the bottom? That's what I don't get. No. Like they're treated like dirt. I don't think that's the case. Like most cameramen are a meme in terms of like there's like the meme that the cameraman doesn't eat, or the meme that the cameraman doesn't talk, which the cameraman shouldn't be speaking, really. He should be invisible. It's like when you watch those shows back in the day, you were like, wait, I just realized there's a cameraman there.
You see, what these camera dudes don't realize is that by you being a cameraman, that's constant work for you. You don't got to worry about what you're going to wake up and do that morning. All you have to do is pick up the camera, press record, and make sure you're getting all the good footage, all the angles, all the high moments, all the low moments, and get paid for it. I mean, if you want, you can ditch doing that and you can come work in a call center and take phone calls and talk to people all day long, yelling in your ear, complaining about how this representative before you didn't do what they were supposed to do. I mean, there is an alternative. You could do that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are you complaining about?
When like the Survivor shows or I was too young to even really remember, but you guys know what I'm talking about. Like, oh, this person's surviving in the wilderness for 2 weeks. Meanwhile, wait, he's not by himself. He's with the cameraman that's with him the whole time. But that's how good the cameraman was, that you didn't even think that, oh, wait, there's somebody holding a camera following this guy around.
Right.
That's what a cameraman should be. So this guy gets fired on his first job, and then he has the nerve to give some advice to other cameramen.
Some advice that I would give for camera operators really is you know, when you think you're prepared, you can always be more prepared. If you're going to be a full-time camera operator for a talent, especially of that caliber, be prepared to treat it like the mafia. Nothing comes before the mafia. Nothing comes before the talent. Your family, your mental, physical health, your errands, what you have to do at the house, talent.
Say, man, it's getting to a point now where all of these big time creators, y'all might as well just go ahead and go back to doing your own vlogs and holding the camera your damn self. You know what I'm saying? Because it is hard to find good help these days. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you get to the levels of a DDG or Speed. See, I don't think Speed has these problems because Speed is just colossal at this point. He's out of here. So I'm pretty sure his cameraman, and they've been locked in for a while, his cameraman. So, yeah, you might as well start doing your videography yourself at this point, because these dudes like this, they just don't know how good they got it.
Comes first. You'll get a phone call at 1:30 that they need you at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, and you are obligated to, fulfill that.
But I'm sure that comes in the contract, in the agreement. Like, look, you have to be on standby. You have to be prepared. If I need you to be on standby. I'm sure they tell you this before you sign the agreement to be a cameraman. Do they not?
If you're going to be a full-time camera operator, I suggest you have a strong program that goes well with physical,
free schedule
having
with
a
no
strong
kids.
relationship with God or whoever you believe with spiritually. This job can really take a toll on you, especially when you're in the middle of the limelight with unintentionally the haters and the trolls.
Man, listen. I mean, I'm already in the content creation space. I make my own videos and I do my own vlogs, but trust and believe, if I wasn't doing this, I would be doing something in videography, cinematography, because I've always been in front of a camera, camcorder, been the guy behind the camera. I still to this day have the Sony camcorder my mom brought me when I was in high school, when I was turning 15. It's a Sony Handycam. It's in my storage. I'll probably bring it in here and put it on one of my shelves, but if that were the case, that's what I would be doing. And I would prefer to do that than to be sitting behind a desk taking phone calls all day, getting paid pennies. Like, you get to travel the world. You get to see different cultures, try different foods, etc. You're not going to convince me that this is a bad job.
And the harassment can really get to your head, seriously. I'm grateful that, I have a strong connection with God. I have a good, loving family back at home, and I have friends and colleagues that really care for me, and I care for them as well. So, shout out to my family, shout out to, other fellow cam operators and other friends that I have there, supporting me and really checking in on me and giving me that source of hope, because without them, I'd probably be. That's basically it. I just wanted to say some peace. I just wanted to speak out on it. I'm not here to disrespect people. I could easily go on a rant disrespecting a lot of people, talking and making fun.
This guy can't be serious.
I don't think that's a good idea.
Talking about nothing comes before the mafia. What is this guy saying? Yes,
part,
you should be more prepared. You should always be twice as prepared as you think you should be. So yeah, if you're a cameraman, you should ideally, you should have 2 cameras, multiple batteries. Like, you should have enough batteries for twice or 3 times what you're going to record. There should be multiple microphones. There should never be a moment where it shouldn't be more than a couple of seconds of, okay, swap battery. That's it. That's the only thing that should be changing.
And I'm pretty sure DDG and alikes supply you with all of that. They're like, look, don't worry about that. The camera, the gear and all that, I'll make sure you have what you need. I just need you to press record and get these moments, catch these vibes.
And that it should be smooth sailing. So yeah, There should be preparation, but this is the thing. You don't really have to pay for that because the person usually has the equipment.
Facts. Yep.
It depends. And the person's willing to invest in the equipment for sure, the talent, if you're good enough, because it's for their business. So yeah, that's goes without saying. Although a lot of new cameramen, they're not thinking like, they're just like, okay, I just got a camera and a battery. They're not thinking to be as prepared as possible. And that's why the people that have been cameramen in the game for a long time, they don't get fired. They stay on the team. Like, for example, like Speed's cameraman, that's a different story.
So
because
I just said
like,
that
those guys kind of came up together. But you got to keep in mind, Speed was just an indoor streamer for most of his career before he started going outside. And that guy's a killer cameraman. I mean, that guy's really a beast.
And I bet you any amount of money, Speed and his team pay him very well. He's definitely making a bag doing camera work for Speed, and he gets to travel all over the place. Like, see, people just don't be understanding how good they got it. Like I said a second ago, you get to go around the world, around the country, filming someone who is adored by many and make money doing it. You're getting paid to do what it is that you apparently love to do. And here you are complaining about it. Okay, if you need to take a break or whatever, let them know you're dehydrated. I'm pretty sure your talent or whatever wouldn't mind that. Like, look, I need you to be hydrated because I need you to have your momentum or whatever. You're not going to tell me that you be filming around the clock 24/8. No. Ungrateful, man. People just ungrateful.
But DDG has had multiple cameras. He's like, hell, have a strong relationship with God. It's like, dog, what are you talking about? And this is no different from executive assistants. Like executive assistants to a CEO, or I'll give you guys a great example. There was this dude, D-Rock. He used to work for Gary Vee. You guys probably know Gary Vee, right? He was really like, when you see, business guy being followed around by a camera, Gary Vee was the OG of that. Maybe over 10 years ago, he was doing that. This guy, D-Rock, was a cameraman for his vlog. Yeah, his whole life was Gary Vee. He would wake up in the morning, follow the guy around, fly to different cities. He was doing everything that this guy wasn't even doing that. He was just first day at Arkansas. So that guy, he didn't complain. When it was time to leave, he left. And that's what's expected of you for certain roles, like executive assistants, for example. Like they're kind of on call all the time. Certain careers, it just is what it is. And you could talk about the payments and stuff like that and what the salary should be, which we'll get into a little bit later. But this guy was a bum, unfortunately, because even Kai Cenat would call him out. This is why it's crazy that he's giving advice.
Stay right there. Hold on. They can hear me? This a new cameraman. He got an ass.
For real.
You want me to record for you? What's your name? What's your name? Pete. Say it again. Hayden?
Pete.
Pete? Where you from? Cali. Nah, guys. You cameraman?
Yo, he really lost his voice. Yo, how you going? I'm sure the cameraman couldn't hear what he was saying because the mic was catching all the audio. So I'm sure during the playback, he might have heard that. And then that's how this whole thing came to be, where he was no longer his cameraman. Or it could just be from what Kai told him, like, look, he's a terrible cameraman. But
yeah. How will we recognize him? So I'm like, just, let me see that back. So what's this connected to right here? What's this?
Hell shit.
Can I see that backpack real quick? Let me see the backpack. Can I see it?
Kai, like, look, let me examine what you got going on here.
So look, watch this. Oh, you was there too? Okay, look at this. So, how about DDG shoes, right? Here, put on me, put this on me. Oh, okay. What's this right here? Okay.
So Kai Cenat is here at Stream University. Keep in mind, Kai Cenat is not a cameraman. You could say, well, Kai Cenat's been doing YouTube for a long time now. Recording yourself and following around, recording somebody else are two totally different things. So Kai Cenat is not a cameraman, but this guy was so poor at his job that Kai Cenat recognized that and said, like, yo, hold on. What's up with this guy? Is this guy new? He got to be new because he is terrible. And you could see DDG's are definitely a nice boss because you could see on his face, he's like, oh, come on, man. Really, is he that bad? DDG seems such a lax boss. And then Kai...
And so I'm pretty sure when Kai did that, he kind of put two and two together. So that's what y'all was over there gossiping about or whispering about my camera skills. Yeah, man, you know, you're an amateur. But I mean, hey, you got some learning to do. But
Sinat takes the camera, and immediately the quality changes.
It's almost like conversation happening, we gotta make sure to pan it. You know what I'm saying? Just like that. You feel me? Just like that. Like, let's do an example. This interaction right here with me.
All right, bet.
Example.
Where you from?
Peachtree.
All right. Shake up then.
Bro, what are you talking about? That, bro, that this fucking sauce burnt my skin.
You burnt that little boy.
You burnt my back and my eyes.
I didn't hit you with nothing.
Stop, you being hot.
and Kai showing him the ropes, like, yo, this is how you do it. And he ain't even a cameraman, but he's showing you, like, yo, this is how it's done.
I'm burning
This. That's from the sauce?
this sauce. Bro, I know Blizzo is burning, bro.
Hey, look.
Bro, it got on
I'm
my,
steaming.
it got on my,
Look.
it got on my shit. Listen to me. It got on my, listen, I got on my balls. Where's that, bro? I have to apologize, but it was hell, bro. He did it first.
You looking
So
at the
you can
camera
see
like,
the quality of the camera work really went up. And that's because Kai Cenat, I would think he's a fan of streams. This guy sits and watches streams. So as a viewer, you know what angles look good. That doesn't mean a viewer is necessarily going to make a good cameraman, because like viewers are sometimes just passively watching. But Kai Cenat is actively watching from the perspective as a fan of streamers and also as somebody that streams himself.
right, and he's seen it enough to know. So he's even probably in his downtime, you know what I mean?
So he
picked up a camera.
has two
and did
perspectives.
this.
Think about it as like a director or like a filmmaker watching a movie versus me watching a movie, right? I'm watching it as that. No, like I'm passive. I'm not thinking about all the angles and how they set up shots and the lighting and any of that. They are thinking about that as well. So DDG would finally address it. And this is what I'm thinking about, like the nerve of this guy to make some statement, complaining in any regard. He should have just said, yeah, you know, I got let go. It's unfortunate. I took the lessons and I'll be pushing forward. Because now who wants to hire this guy? The first time he gets hired, he goes out and starts making a statement about it.
Yeah, because what you put on the internet is permanent. So this right here is not going to help, because when you try to show them your resume, they're going to be like, well, what's this about? You know, why are you on the internet, you know, saying this about cameramen and stuff like that? Because now I got to think about my bottom line and my brand. If you so much as would do this with, like, what if I do something that isn't to your liking, or I might need you to do this or do that, and then you get on the internet badmouthing me? I can't have that. So you might have just, you know what I'm saying, nerfed your damn cameraman career.
But DDG would respond.
This will indirectly try to diss working for me. But was so excited. Like, that shit be blowing me, bro. Like, you don't know how much cameraman's paid. Dubba. Tell him how much he was paid at this point, bro. Like, I don't give a no. Let me put this in your brain. No cameraman will ever make as much money as the nigga they're filming.
This is true. And I don't think that.
I mean, that's fair to say. I mean, you aren't the act. You aren't the person on camera. So naturally, you're not going to make as much as the person. I'm the one that they came to see me. So naturally, I'm going to make more money. I'm doing all the antics and coming up with the ideas. All you did was just pick up the camera and press record and make sure that the lighting is right, the ISO is straight, the exposure, the shutter speed. Like, you're just making sure everything is clicking like it should. But yes, I'm going to get paid more money, but I am going to make sure I break you off good. You making more than some of these regular people are making. You making what some people don't make in a year, just walking around with a camera and gear. Like, make it make sense.
The cameramen are ever thinking that's the case. I don't think a cameraman is ever like, yeah, you know, I'm going to be making millions doing this. No, there's for sure a salary cap or getting a percentage of the business for doing this. I don't think most cameramen are thinking like that. I do think with this guy, he was going to complain no matter what. And the problem is, even if DDG paid, number one, the guy sucked. So he didn't deserve to get paid more. And even if DDG paid him more, he wouldn't get better at his job because he doesn't know what it takes to be good at the job. But the next part is where DDG, I think he's a little bit delusional.
When a McDonald's, a that's working at McDonald's, Checkers, In-N-Out, when they're making them burgers, you think they think in their head, damn, bro, I don't want to make these burgers no more because the that own In-N-Out, the that worked hard as to get to this point in his life to make this much money is making more than me. It's not fair. Oh, I made 20 burgers today. I need more money. No. It's not what it is.
This is how I know DDG's been rich for too long. Not only has he been rich for too long, he's been around rich.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I understand what DDG is saying, and I'm not glazing or nothing like that. Let me just say that. I understand what he's saying. It's like, look, you're being paid to do a specific job. You have to make these burgers. Listen, you have the freedom of choice. Look, you don't have to do this. If you don't like the idea that you're making burgers and the person that owns that particular franchise is making $100K plus a year, you can leave. You can quit and maybe see about starting your own franchise and see how far that gets you. Because if you young and you haven't got enough skin in the game, how far do you expect to be at that point? The person that probably owns that franchise has been doing this for eons before they got their franchise. So I understand what DDG is saying. It's like, look, everybody got their role. Everybody got their place. You know what I'm saying? At some point, you know, if you feel like, look, you know, I've put in the work. I got my stripes being a cameraman. I've gotten good at this. Now I want to transition into something else. That can be a conversation. But this dude, I mean, he didn't even have good skills. Like Kai had to come in and show him like, yo, this is how you do video work. But to get back to what DDG was saying about the fast food joint, like I said, everybody got to know their role. Like you can't be the person working drive-through and feel like, you know what, I'm supposed to be the person owning a franchise. Like, no, that's not what you got hired for.
People for too long.
No.
Yes, DDG, that is exactly what they're thinking. Like the person that's doing the landscaping or the person that's at the butcher or the person that's flipping the burgers at In-N-Out or the person that's putting the fries in the bag. Yeah, they're thinking, yo, the owner, this guy comes here in his nice car once a week to pick up the check and I'm out here working.
Yeah, but we don't know what he went through to get that business. He probably started in the basement too, making burgers before he was able to buy his own franchise. He probably was working drive-through. Then he moved up to management. Then he, you know, shook hands with certain people and then he was given his own, you know, store to operate or run his own franchise and things like that. We don't know what these people go through to get where they got. You know what I'm saying? Everybody got to start from the bottom, so to speak. You know what I mean? Even doing this YouTube thing, you're not going to be making a whole bunch of views out the gate, having a bunch of subs out the gate. You got to work. You got to build this by brick. Do you know what I'm saying? To get where you're trying to go. Like, that's just always been how it is.
Every day in the heat, they're not thinking, oh, man.
And this is why they are going to replace people with robots and artificial intelligence, because they understand that, you know, people don't want to do this no more. And I get it. You don't want to flip burgers. You don't want to be worked to death. You don't want to break your body down or anything like that. Okay, cool. We're going to get robots to replace people to do the work that humans don't want to do anymore. But then people will argue about, no, y'all just need to pay people more money. Do y'all even understand what goes into running a business? It's like you got to think about shrinkage. You got to think about operation costs. You got to think about water, sewer, plumbing, lighting, all this stuff, the building itself, especially if you work in the fast food or whatever. Like, there's a lot of overhead that comes with that. But these are people who are not business savvy. They don't understand.
You know, this guy worked. Well, they don't even know how the owner got to that position.
Exactly.
He could have
They
just
don't.
been like a family business and he inherited it. But they're not thinking, yeah, he worked really hard. No, they're thinking, we're slaving away. We're putting in hours. We're putting in pain, and we're getting paid pennies, and we can barely make rent.
Well, that's, like I said, you have a choice. You know what I'm saying? And I know I might be coming off sounding like Anton Daniels or whatever, but You do have a choice. Nobody's forcing you to do it.
And this guy's eating and he's just coming up and collecting the check off of our labor. Like, does he not realize there's a reason why like people like Hassan are so famous? So he's completely wrong about how people think. Yes, this is exactly how they think, DDG. 100%, I promise you. Now, were they thinking like that back in the day when, you know, like salaries matched the cost of living? I don't know. I wasn't alive back then. But
salaries never actually matched the cost of living when you think about it in the grand scheme of it, because even back then when things were only 25 cents to go see a movie, people were getting paid what for per hour? What, 50 cents an hour? They weren't making them. People were poor back then. People were a lot more poor back then than they are now. You know what I mean? So people really didn't have it as good as they try to proclaim, you know, in a lot of places. So, yeah, it depends on who you ask, in my opinion.
Currently, they definitely think like that. That's for sure. But then he
it's
would
the wrong
continue.
way to think, though.
So I don't like how this cameraman y'all trying to diss, but it's like, y'all don't understand, bro. Like, that work for me, bro, as a cameraman, you live a beautiful life.
I was going to say, like, I'm pretty sure you living out in Cali, you in the Capaholic mansion, you get to go here, you get to go there. Like, who would complain about that? Like I said, come over here and work in a call center, talking to people who had to talk to somebody over in the Philippines that don't know a lick of English after they done been transferred 5 or 6 times, and now you get them, and now you got to take this mental beating because they were lied to and they were told one thing and it's not the truth. And now you got to break it to them softly that that's not what's going to happen. Come do this and then tell me after that, would you prefer to be a cameraman or continue doing what I'm doing? Until then, just shut up and just be happy.
You travel the world, you meet the coolest people in the world. Like,
facts.
Every that ever worked for me would tell you that. You can't say that you don't. Travel the real, see shit that you ain't even, you know what I mean? Just because you ain't getting paid a fucking $100,000 or whatever the fuck expecting, that don't mean a nigga ain't spending damn near that much. Flying across the world, putting it in nice hotels, air.
That's what I'm saying. That's the part that they don't understand. It's like, these are expenses that you don't have to worry about. All you got to do is just show up. I'm putting you in a 5-star hotel. You know, we flying out, flying first class every now and then, or doing whatever, getting in nice cars. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'm the act. I'm the people that they want to see. So I got to make sure, like, I don't think people understand, like, you're just the cameraman. I'm the one that's got to come up with the ideas. I always got to keep my brain on thinking about the next thing. My brain got to stay on. I got to be on go. You just got to turn on the goddamn camera. This is the part that they don't understand. Like,
Airbnbs, feeding them. Boy, I'm a great boss. I feed my cameraman, y'all. All this shit online where we be joking and shit, like cameraman don't eat. No, if we go to Steak 48, you think I'm gonna tell my cameraman to go to In-N-Out? No, get a Wagyu. I'm rich as hell. But I'm not finna go above and beyond paying a motherfucker just because I'm making more money. It makes no sense. This is a business. That's not how businesses work. Just because you're an individual, it doesn't mean that I don't operate like a business. You feel me?
So this is a very nuanced take that I think most people aren't ready for, that DDG delivers. Like, they expect DDG to pay the cameraman an insane salary.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, how much, man? How much do you really expect to be getting paid as a cameraman? Now, granted, okay, I understand things are getting expensive and stuff like that, but I would imagine you get paid enough to where you're able to move, you're able to function, you have some motion with the money that you get from this sensation, from this act, from this talent. I'm sure. So how much more money do you really need to be making? Unless you're bad with money and you don't have any money management and you're just blowing all that money and you're not putting it up for when this is over, because it's not going to last forever. It is going to end at some point. He may be like, look, you know, I'm switching over to this type of content and I don't need you no more. So you ought to be saving this money and putting it where it's best needed to maybe start your own production company or something like that. Build you out your own studio. You should be doing that with your money. If he's allowing you a place to live and stay, that's why people who have kids or have ambitions and stuff like that, that don't really want to be cameramen, shouldn't really get into this.
Keep in mind, what do they expect him to pay him? $8,000 a month? $10,000 a month?
That's crazy.
That's more than well-educated people with degrees are
You're just
getting
holding a
at
camera.
jobs. A lot of them. And this job requires no degree. Now, it does require a skill set, which some of these people don't have. And this job also has perks. So when somebody's getting into the job, you have to consider, well, what are the pros and cons of this, right? Well, the pros are you get to hang around and meet a lot of people. Yeah, granted, you're meeting them on camera. You're working. That's the thing. You're not, and DDG seems like he's a lax boss where he's partying, he's letting the cameraman party. Nah. You can't be doing that. Like, you've got to be locked in, especially if the stream is going. But there's perks, right? Like, he gets to go to nice restaurants. The person gets to see the world, which is very valuable. Like, if you think about it, a person that is getting paid more than the cameraman, maybe they get 2 to 4 weeks vacation a year, and they will need to spend the money within those 2 to 4 weeks to see the world. Whereas with DDG, they get to see the world on DDG's dime. And yes, they're working, but there are hours where they can explore places. And that's a perk of that job.
Exactly. You're constantly on travel mode because you wake up one morning, DDG hits you up like, yo, you know, we flying out to Cuba or we flying out to Bali or something like that. You know what I mean? I got your flight. You know what I'm saying? Just pack you some clothes or whatever, you know, we'll get some gear when we get out there or whatever the hell. Name a job, a 9 to 5 that you can go to where they're going to treat you like that. I thought so.
And of course, you're not going to get paid the same amount that you would at an office or for something like that. But people aren't trying to hear this, especially if they hate on DDG, and especially if they just see DDG as, oh, he has a ton of money, which he does, and he flexes a ton of money, which he does, which doesn't help his case. And they're like, yeah, he should just pay the person more just because. However, the real answer to this and why cameramen can get paid so little, which we...
You know what's so funny about this, though? And this just goes to show you how people are. Elon Musk is a billionaire. Jeff Bezos is a billionaire. Amazon probably, no, let me not say probably, is the world's leading e-commerce website. E-commerce business, I should say. There's nothing that you can't go on Amazon and not get and have it delivered to your door like that. And that man is a billionaire. He wake up $2 million, $3 million, $4 million richer than he was the day before. And we already know how them workers get treated. But you don't see people out here. I mean, sure, there's people that protest and stuff like that, but it rings on deaf's ears. You know what I'm saying? Because these people, yes, you make sure the packages and stuff get delivered and you're paid. But again, nobody's forcing you to do it. I myself went and worked at Amazon and was working in the warehouse overnight from 3 a.m. to 5 a.m. So that's what? I think that's like 3 hours. So yeah. And it was brutal. On my back, standing that long. It was cold. It was cold. This was in 2023. It was in like October, November of 2023. No, excuse me, December. And it was cold as hell. And, you know, I was like, yo, this ain't for me. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't because it was like, okay, they're not paying me enough. I understood, and that's what I signed up for. I knew I wasn't going to be getting paid a whole lot of money. I'm just literally putting packages and scanning stuff. There's no real ingenuity needed for something like this. You know what I'm saying? I know I just went on a rant, but yeah, let's continue. Let's get through this video.
If you don't know how much the cameramen are getting paid, is because there are thousands of people that are willing to replace you. That's it. It's that simple. Why would DDG pay this guy who sucked? But let's just say any person. Why would DDG pay this person a ridiculous amount of money when there's somebody that is just as good or potentially even better that is willing to do it for a fraction of the cost? It doesn't make sense, does it, for DDG? Exactly. So that's the problem, if you want to call it that, of this type of career, cameraman, because it's an easy thing to do, at least at face value. To be really good, it's not easy. I won't say it's like a hard job. That's different. Like, for example, like Speed's cameraman, if you're a cameraman for like a top talent, then yes, it's hard because you're dealing with chaos all the time. And it's high pressure, high stakes situation. And this is live, mind you. This is very different from pre-recorded stuff. So you're dealing with the live element of it. But for a DDG, right? Like, he's not dealing with crowds swarming him constantly when he's streaming. So there are a bunch of people that can do your job. It's an entry level job, right? Like, you don't need education for it. You don't need a college degree. And anybody from the ages of 18 to 24 is willing to do it just to hang out with DDG. They're like, yo, I get to hang out with this guy that I mess with and I get paid and I get these perks. Oh, of course. So there are, like I said, tens of thousands, I would be willing to say, that are willing to do this job for a lower salary. And that's what the market judges it by. So no, DDG's not going to just shell out more money because what? Like, if DDG raised the salary, he's not going to get any more applicants than if he kept the salary at whatever it is right now. And people don't even know the salary and they're applying for it. Guarantee you, some people would do it for barely anything. And what is an internship, right? Like, people do internships all the time. Now, you could say, like, yeah, internship, you get job experience and you can put that on your resume. And are you putting a DDG cameraman as your resume? That's a good point. Although, in the direction that we're moving right now, it might be valuable to put on your resume, considering that everybody wants a cameraman now. Everybody wants to be filmed. Everybody wants to be the main character. But yeah, let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. I think the only thing that DDG was wrong about here is when he gave his perspective on what, like, the McDonald's worker is thinking. Like,
all right, that's going to be the end of the video. I'm going to stop it there. I don't think he was wrong in that. I completely understand where he was coming from with that. Like I said, everybody got to know their role. You got to work your way up. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, some of these cats out here just don't know how good they got it. And that just goes to show you how far or how long it's been since they've been in the 9-to-5 world. See, I'm still in it. I do this YouTube thing. And when I'm done with this and I go to sleep and wake up, I go to my 9-to-5. And when I'm done with my 9-to-5, it's time to get busy on camera and, you know, do these videos. So I'm in both worlds. So I understand what it's like being over here. And if I had a choice of being a cameraman where I get to go around the world with this talent and a lot of my stuff is afforded for me, my flights, my stay, I'm not complaining. And whatever I'm getting paid is whatever I'm getting paid, especially if I didn't have no kids and I wasn't married and I was young. Yeah, I'm running it up. You know what I'm saying? I'm running it up, and I'll do that for however long I want. And then, you know, if it gets to a point where it's like, all right, I want to do my own thing, that'll be a conversation. I would have saved up enough nest egg of money where I have built out a studio and got my own production and setup, and now I can be the main character of my own thing. You know what I'm saying? Some people just don't know how good they got it. But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think. If you made it this far, I appreciate you. Make sure you check that like button, sub to the channel, and y'all sound off in them comments until y'all asses is kicked up out of here. Let's have a conversation about this. With all that being said, it's your boy Robbie. Till the next video, we out of here.